There was a shareholder question, a lot of shareholder questions about Berkshire's performance versus the S&P 500. Berkshire has underperformed the broader market for the year to date, for the last 5 years, and for the last 10 years. Again, that was a question brought by several shareholders, and here's his response. I got a number of variations on this next question, some more polite than others. This one's right about down the middle. But this is from Mark Blakely, who writes in from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he says, like many, I'm a proud Berkshire Hathaway shareholder. However, in comparing the performance of Berkshire with the S&P 500 over the last 5, 10, or 15 years, I've been disappointed in Berkshire's underperformance. Even year to date, Berkshire is trailing the S&P 500 by 8%. To what would you attribute Berkshire's underperformance? Well, I can't imagine ever selling my Berkshire stock. At some point, money is money.
Well, I agree with everything that I forget his name, but said. I mean, the truth is that I recommend the S&P 500 to people, and I happen to believe that Berkshire is about as sound as any single investment can be in terms of earning reasonable returns over time. But I would not want to bet my life on whether we beat the S&P 500 over the next 10 years. I think there's I obviously think there's a reasonable chance of doing it, and we've had periods, I don't know how many out of the 50, 55 years we've been doing it, or I don't know how many we've beaten or not. I mentioned earlier that 1954 was my best year, but I was working absolutely with peanuts, unfortunately. And I think if you work with small sums of money, I think there is some chance of a few people that really do bring something to the game. But I think it's very, very hard for anybody to identify them. And I think that when they work with large funds, it gets tougher. And it's certainly gotten tougher for us with larger funds. And I would make no promise to anybody that we will do better than the S&P 500. But what I will promise them is that I've got 99% of my money in Berkshire, and most members of my family may not be quite that extreme, but they're close to it. And I do care about what happens to Berkshire over the long period, about as much as anybody could care about it. But caring doesn't guarantee results. It does guarantee attention.
It's harder and harder for a big pile of money to outperform like that, and that's a point he's made frequently. I think a lot of people have questions because really they've invested in Berkshire because they think it will outperform in down times. Now, that has not been the case year to date. I guess I wonder what happens over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and that's going to play out. But there were some shareholders who are definitely pushing back about that.